How has Web 2.0 impacted the field of how hello? It's not working actually.
I can hear you.
How has the field of Web 2.0 impacted online marketing? For example, we have social web networking sites like Orkut, Facebook. I mean, if you look closely, you don't really find too many ads on those sites. Especially the big companies, they don't really advertise on such sites. So, how is the future going to be on such sites? Because more and more people are going for user-generated content, Web 2.0. So, how do you see the future playing out?
So let's differentiate between user-generated content and sites like Orkut and Facebook.
Yeah.
User content is something which has been around for many years. Okay, and if you look at Naukri, it's basically user-generated content. Yeah, we don't have our own content. Your CV is your content, and people put up jobs as their content. So it's user content. Jeansari is also user-generated content, right? So that's a different sort of area, and that basically adds to the internet rather than taking away from it, because the more content you have, the more sites are available, the more people who sort of visit these sites, the more advertising inventory is available. So that's a good thing, and that's going to help online marketing because it will just help increase that traffic and penetration and make the internet a lot more useful than it is today for many people. Social networking sites, and your question on why companies are not spending too much money on social networking sites. Well, the problem there is very different. So social networking sites have huge user bases, right? Maybe half of all of India which is online is on Orkut, right? The total amount of time being spent on YouTube, the number of videos watched on YouTube is some obnoxious number. Millions of videos are being watched every day, right? The amount of time being spent on Facebook is in millions of minutes every day. But still, these companies have not become very big. And the reason for that is that what marketers are saying is that when they advertise on these sites, they don't get great response, at least today. Okay, so the click-through rates, if I can use a technical term, are very low on social networking sites. So for what it means is, if I run 100 banners on Yahoo, maybe one person will click on it, and that determines my response. To get the same response on social networking site, you may have to run 1,000 banners. Okay, which makes it an expensive medium to advertise for many marketers. Now, why do people not click on social networking sites on ads? Maybe because they're very busy networking. Okay, maybe they're not in the mood. Many people are trying, jury's still out on how to make their work a lot better. Many social networking sites are experimenting with models which they think could work going forward. Once they have a lot of profile information, they know what the user really wants, what his hobbies are, what his interests are, what kind of people he connects with, and they're trying to target ads based on that. So there's a lot of work going on in that area. But still, the response to ads from social networking sites is not great. It's not great at this point in time. People just miss the ad on a social networking site for some reason. Or maybe they're too busy talking to their friends and viewing photographs and connecting with other people. They don't want to be distracted at that point in time. Maybe when they're on a Google, for example, their intent is to find something. And therefore they don't mind clicking on an ad which is relevant to what they're looking for. Or when they are on a Yahoo, they're looking at news. Maybe they're more open, to what's happening around them. They're not they're not, doing a task. Look, how many people would click on an ad if they're working on a PowerPoint presentation for their office? Or how many people would want to work on or click on an ad when they're, viewing a document for office? Not many, because that's not the intent at that point in time. They're focused on their body. Why, when you're on a Yahoo, when you're on a Reject, or when you're on a Google, you're actually looking for something. So social networking sites need to make the ads a lot more targeted, a lot more relevant to the user base, to what he's doing at that point in time. And there is a lot of work happening in that area. And that is why you don't see too many people advertising on social networking sites, because they're not very cost effective at this point in time. But that will change in 1 or 2 years. Somebody will crack the technology. It was very difficult to advertise on search until Google came along. Yeah, there was no model which worked, and then Google cracked it.
In one of your slides, you made a reference to difficulty in marketing in Tamil Nadu and getting customers in Chennai. Could you expand on that?
So that was a point I made about local marketing. So on the internet today, if you want a very local response, let's say if you want a response only from Noida, if you want to sell yogurt only in Noida, it's a little more difficult today, right? As compared to, you can use many other sources. So you could put up a hoarding in Noida, which only people from Noida see. You can put up, you can distribute pamphlets in the Sector 18 market in Noida, that reaches people in Noida. You can do a local newspaper in Noida, if there's a local newspaper. So that reaches people only in Noida. On the internet today, at least, it's difficult to say, look, I want to target only people in Chennai. It's possible, and it's getting better, but it's still, there is a long way to go out there. So if you want to advertise on Read and say, look, only show my ad to people in Chennai, it's a little more difficult. It's possible, it's getting better and better. IP targeting is improving, but there is a lot of wastage out there still. That's the point I'm making. Plus, when you want to reach a very, very small neighborhood, then there's not enough reach on the internet. There are just 40 million people at the end of the day. So if you want to reach every driver, every maid servant, every person who stays in Noida, then it may not be the best people. Still. Yeah.
Just to expand on the point about the Web2 technology, see, I agree that advertising on such social networking sites might not be as profitable or as useful, but many of the companies are having their presence on these sites just to probably, it even helps in brand building. For example, even Thai is there on Twitter, and it does help you build a tribe, basically similar kind of people.